Mornings are not just about waking up. They're about setting the tone for the entire day. Yet most people stumble into their mornings reactively, hitting snooze, checking their phones, and rushing into the chaos of life. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, taught us that we should take control of what we can and let go of what we can't. And what's more controllable than how we start each day? If you've ever felt overwhelmed, lost, or unmotivated, your morning routine could be the problem. The right habits can turn your mornings from a burden into a launch pad for greatness. Let's explore 13 powerful Stoic morning practices that will help you live each day with clarity, purpose, and resilience. 1. Practice voluntary discomfort, strengthening the mind through hardship. Seneca once said, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This is the principle of voluntary discomfort, choosing to experience small hardships on purpose, so that when real adversity comes, you meet it with strength rather than fear. Why does this work? Psychologists call this exposure therapy. When we voluntarily expose ourselves to controlled difficulties, we train our nervous system to handle stress without panic. It reduces the fear of discomfort because our brain realizes, "I've been here before. I can handle this." How can you apply this in your mornings? Take a cold shower. It's uncomfortable, but it strengthens mental resilience and wakes up your nervous system. Fast for a few hours. Going without food teaches you that hunger is not an emergency, just a sensation that passes. Go outside without a jacket. Feeling the cold builds tolerance for discomfort. Walk instead of a drive. Choosing slight inconveniences builds endurance. Real-life example. Many elite athletes like David Goggins deliberately put themselves in extreme conditions to strengthen their minds. Goggins runs ultra-marathons in brutal weather, not just for physical fitness, but to train his mind to embrace suffering rather than avoid it. What about you? How often do you willingly step into discomfort, knowing it will make you stronger? 2. Read and reflect on Stoic wisdom, feeding the mind before the world feeds. Marcus Aurelius started each day by journaling in meditations, grounding himself in wisdom before facing the chaos of Rome. Imagine an emperor, responsible for an entire empire, taking the time to sit in silence and remind himself of simple truths like, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The science behind morning reading. Reading in the morning primes your brain for the rest of the day. Neuroscientists have found that the first information you consume each morning sets the mental tone for the day. If you start with negativity, emails, social media, or news, it puts your brain in a reactive state. But if you start with wisdom, you enter the day with clarity and purpose. How can you do this? Read a passage from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, or Discourses by Epictetus. Journal your thoughts on the reading. How can you apply this today? Write one Stoic quote on a sticky note and place it somewhere visible as a daily reminder. Biblical and philosophical connection. This practice mirrors meditating on Scripture in the Bible. Joshua 1:8 says, "Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful." Both Stoicism and Christianity emphasize the power of intentional reflection, starting the day by focusing on truth rather than reacting to external events. What if, instead of reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, you reached for wisdom? How different would your day be? 3. Set a Stoic challenge for the day, treating life like a training ground. Imagine if every day was a test, a chance to practice patience, resilience, and discipline. This is how the Stoics viewed life. Each moment is an opportunity for self-mastery. The ancient Stoic practice of daily challenges. Epictetus taught that we don't improve by merely thinking about Stoicism. We must apply it in real life. He compared training the mind to training the body. Difficulties are what show men's character. Therefore, when a difficulty falls upon you, remember that God, like a trainer of wrestlers, has matched you with a tough young man. For what purpose? That you may become an Olympic victor. Modern-day application. What if every morning you chose one Stoic principle to actively practice throughout the day? Here's how it could look. Patience challenge. If you get stuck in traffic or wait in a long line, see it as Stoic training. Can you remain calm? Gratitude challenge. Instead of complaining about what you lack, consciously notice 3 things you're grateful for. Silence challenge. When tempted to argue or prove a point, practice restraint and observe instead. Resilience challenge. If something doesn't go as planned, rather than reacting with frustration, remind yourself, amor fati, love your fate. Story, Nelson Mandela's Stoic challenge. While imprisoned for 27 years, Nelson Mandela didn't let bitterness consume him. Instead, he treated each day as an opportunity to strengthen his mind and spirit. He read Invictus, a poem that embodies Stoic endurance. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. By choosing to refine his character rather than fall into despair, Mandela emerged as a leader who transformed an entire nation. What about you? What's your Stoic challenge for today? 4. Wake up with purpose. Memento mori, remembering mortality. Every morning is a gift, yet we take it for granted. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself each day, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This isn't about being morbid. It's about being awake to the preciousness of life. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing it could be your last day. Would you waste time on distractions, negativity, or laziness? Instead of dreading mornings, embrace them as a chance to live fully. Before you even get out of bed, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am alive. Today is an opportunity. I will not waste it. 5. Delay digital distractions. Own your mind before the world does. Most people wake up and immediately check their phones, flooding their minds with news, notifications, and social media. This puts you in a reactive state, allowing external forces to dictate your mood. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up to Twitter debates in ancient Rome, but he did guard his mind against distractions. He believed in starting the day with clarity, not chaos. Try this. Keep your phone away from your bed. Avoid screens for at least 30 minutes after waking up. Instead, focus on your own thoughts, not the world's noise. By doing this, you train your mind to be proactive, not reactive. 6. Reflect on gratitude, the art of enough. Seneca taught that happiness is found in appreciating what we already have. Instead of waking up and thinking about what's missing in your life, take a moment to focus on what's already there. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? What simple joys do I often overlook? Gratitude shifts your mindset from lack to abundance. It reminds you that happiness isn't in the next achievement. It's in the present moment. 7. Engage in morning silence. Own your inner world. Noise is everywhere. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded by opinions, distractions, and obligations. But before the world rushes in, the Stoics remind us to sit with ourselves. Try this. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in silence before starting your day. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Let your mind settle into clarity and peace. This practice trains you to be mentally unshaken in a world full of noise. 8. Move your body. Discipline over comfort. A strong mind needs a strong body. The Stoics valued physical discipline, believing that a weak body could weaken the spirit. Seneca himself exercised daily, understanding that movement builds resilience, energy, and mental sharpness. This doesn't mean you need to hit the gym for hours. Even 10 to 20 minutes of stretching, walking, or body weight exercises can transform your morning. Remember, how you treat your body is how you treat your mind. 9. Cold exposure, training for discomfort. The Stoics trained themselves for hardship, believing that comfort breeds weakness. Seneca would expose himself to the cold and practice fasting, not because he had to, but because he wanted to train his resilience. Taking a cold shower or splashing cold water on your face in the morning is a simple way to shock your system awake, strengthen mental discipline, improve circulation and direct energy. It's a small discomfort that builds great resilience. 10. Set intentions. Direct your life. Don't drift through it. If you wake up without direction, you'll get lost in distractions. The Stoics believed in living with purpose, not just existing. Before starting your day, ask yourself, what is my main priority today? What kind of person do I want to be today? What challenge might I face, and how will I handle it stoically? A clear intention prevents drifting and ensures you act with purpose. 11. Read something wise. Feed your mind before the world does. Before the world bombards you with random content, take a moment to feed your mind intentionally. Marcus Aurelius read philosophy every morning. Seneca wrote letters to strengthen his wisdom. You don't need hours, just 10 minutes of reading. Something insightful can shape your mindset for the day. Recommended: Stoic writings, meditations, letters from a Stoic, the Bible, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, or the Gospels. A book on wisdom, history, or personal growth. Nourish your mind before feeding on social media garbage. 12th. Practice journaling, self-mastery through reflection. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations was essentially his journal, a place where he trained his thoughts, reflected on life, and refined his character. Journaling in the morning helps you clarify your thoughts, identify bad habits, stay accountable to your growth. Simple journaling prompts. What do I need to focus on today? What emotions am I carrying? How can I respond to challenges with wisdom? Writing is thinking. When you write, you sharpen your mind. 13. Embrace the present moment. Life is happening now. Lastly, remember, this moment is all you truly have. Too many people live in the future, worry, or the past, regret, missing the beauty of now. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves, don't postpone living. As you step into your day, embrace it fully. Be present with your coffee. Enjoy the small details around you. Face challenges with a calm, centered mind. Because life isn't in some distant future. It's happening right now. Final thoughts. Build your Stoic morning routine. Remember, life will bring adversity. Training for discomfort now prepares you to face it without fear. Wisdom is a shield. Feeding your mind with timeless Stoic principles equips you for any challenge. Growth happens in practice. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your character. What habit are you committing to tomorrow morning? Let me know in the comments. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on applying ancient wisdom to modern life. Let's make our mornings and our lives ones of purpose, discipline, and resilience. If you implement even a few of these habits, your mornings will transform. Wake up with purpose. Guard your mind from distractions, move, read, and reflect. Train yourself to embrace discomfort. Live each morning with clarity and presence. What's one habit from this list you'll start tomorrow? Let me know in the comments. And remember, you don't control everything, but you do control how you start your day. Make it count.